Bonjour, Jeff and Arlie. I hope you're both doing well on your happy day. I'm going to do this video in English. I was going to do part of it in French, but I was having a very difficult time with it, and I'm sure some of my pronunciations would end up insulting somebody instead of saying something very nice, so we're just going to go this way. I want to start by saying a few things about Jeff. We first met at Quailcraft. He was an intern there. He started interning with me. He was an intern for a few years for a couple different people. One of the things I noticed about Jeff immediately when he started working for Quailcraft is he had this optimistic attitude. He seemed confident and just very optimistic about the things he said, the things he did, upbeat. It was really a very, very infectious type of attitude. It made you want to feel optimistic and upbeat. And that was one of the great things, besides him being an intelligent person, that he brought to the group, was just his optimism. He also had very strong opinions and ideas that he stuck to. He had very strong convictions, which is important. But he was also intelligent enough to know when he was wrong. Most of the time. No, actually, he's a very smart guy and one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And he's just a wonderful person to work with. The next stage is Jeff moved to ST after he left Quailcraft, and I followed him about a year and a half later. And Jeff and I worked together now. Instead of me as his boss and mentor, he was now my peer, which for both of us I think worked out well. I think it might have been more awkward for Jeff than it was for me, but overall, I mean, we got along great. We would, go to lunch together and spend time together. I ended up reconnecting with him and coming to some 4th of July parties, which was great. I really enjoyed those times. One of my fondest memories of working with Jeff was when we took the French class together at Harper College. We had this grand idea that we were both going to learn French so that we could communicate better with the people overseas, which is a fairly admirable goal, but hard to realize unless you're immersed in French all the time. But we had the best of intentions. So we took this class. I was a little more on the studious side, making sure to get my homework done days in advance. We made flashcards and stuff together. Jeff was more on the more go with the flow type of person, which was good because it kind of counteracted my obsessive compulsive desire to get an A in this class, which I really didn't need to get an A in. So one of the great things about the class was we would go out for Thai food after work because class was in the evening, and then we'd sit around. He would eat some kind of curry, I think the Penang curry, because they had the potatoes, I remember that, and I usually ate something like the crazy noodles, and we would sit there and we would study our French. Then we would both go to class, and like a couple of bad students, we sat in the back of the class, but to be fair, we were very interactive. I felt like an old person, and I'm sure you did too. We were both much older than most of the people in the class. After class, we would sit out in the parking lot and discuss things like video games and, the nature of existence, things like that, which was fun. It was different for me being a father and a responsible adult to be able to hang out a little bit and just kind of talk about stuff with someone. It was a really good time, and Jeff was a great guy to do that with. The one thing about these conversations with Jeff, though, is they would keep turning towards a subject, and that subject was this woman named Aurelie, who lived in France, of all places. He told me a story about how they had met on a train and how they had hit it off. And I was like, that's really cool. And he's like, I'm going to thinking of moving to France. What do you think? I was a little stunned. I mean, that's a big step. But this is how Jeff is. He has this optimistic idea of things, what he wants. He sees it. And he obviously saw something very special in Orly. And he saw what he wanted. And I said, you know, you only live life once. Really, you only do live it once. And you have to make the best of it, which me telling that to someone like Jeff is kind of silly, considering all the things he has done in his life at his age. So he decided to do it. Now, granted, he was going to do it in his typical Jeff way, which was just to drop everything and go over there. But he ended up getting a job at ST in Belgium, and then he was able to move over there and be employed at the same time, which was a good thing. Hopefully that helped ease his transition a little bit, you know, being able to be employed in Belgium and with the woman he loved. Now, one could wonder why all the fuss, you know, there's a million fish in the sea, why this one? Well, that question was answered for me the first time I met Orly, and that was when she was coming to a class. She was coming to our French class. She's from the south of France. Our teacher was from the south of France, and Orly was coming to class to meet her, which was really great having her in class. And when I first met her, I could tell why Jeff wanted to move to Europe. I mean, not only is she beautiful, she's also smart, she's nice, she's got a really good sense of humor. I mean, it's the complete package. And she came across as a little more, how can we say this, organized than maybe Jeff was. So somebody to add a little structure to Jeff's life. It seemed like the perfect match to me, anyway. And he was smitten with her. And she obviously saw something in him. She came all the way to the United States to visit and attend a French class. So, I think, Jeff, you made an excellent choice. And you couldn't have done a better job. You couldn't have found a better person to spend the rest of your life with. Orally, this part's for you. I really don't know you that well. I've only met you a handful of times. I've talked to you a little bit, enough to get a good feeling for the type of person you are. And as I said to Jeff, you're very beautiful. You're smart, obviously, and you just seem kind. You're just a wonderful person, and watching the way that you interact with Jeff, the interplay between you two, you just see that there's a chemistry there. You can see the love that's there. It's really awesome, and I think you guys are a perfect match for each other. Most of the stuff that I see about you two really comes from, nowadays, your Facebook page. So I get to see these different places you travel, like China and Vietnam and Hungary, with just you two alone or with your friends. And it's really great. I mean, the pictures are worth 1,000 words is true. You can just see the expressions on your faces, some of the more candid photos, or just the types of photos you take. It says a lot about how you think and who you are. I think it's just great. I wish I could participate more in your lives, but alas, things are what they are. This video has gone on way too long, so once again, I hope you're having a great day. Orly, Jeff, congratulations to you both. I hope your friends are having a great time. Your parents, hello everyone. I just hope everything is wonderful. Please send me pictures. And the last thing I want to say is, may the best day of your past be the worst day of your future. And salute. Bye, guys.